Hi friends, it's Miss English. Welcome to the third week of your poetry online unit. We're in week 3 of 4, so this week and next week, and then we are moving on to short stories. Who's excited? You? Anyway, this week, so we've already worked on couplets. We worked on villanelles last week, and this week we're going to work on something called free verse. And I'm also going to take you through a couple of examples of figurative language that we're going to be looking at, both of which you have already encountered this year. So it should just be a review. Okay, reminder, make sure you respond to the Flipgrid prompt for today. I'm going to put that in the materials. And then also make sure that when you come to the composition part of this week, so tomorrow and the next day, you include a visual representation. A lot of you are writing excellent poems and you're not giving me any pictures to go with it. So please make sure you do that. Also, I update grades every weekend, so if I collect things on Friday, I update it on Saturday and Sunday. If you get it to me after Sunday, I probably won't get to it again until the following weekend. And that's just because I have a lot going on during the week. Obviously, I take care of my son, so just try and be patient with that. And I promise if you send it to me, I will not miss it and it will be fine. Okay? Let us get started. Okay. All right, first things first, hello and welcome. This is my girl, Princess Girl. Free verse and figurative language, day 1. So today, again, we're going to be looking at free verse. Free verse is probably going to be easier for some of you guys and probably going to be difficult for some of you as well. The reason being is some of us do really well with structure and rules, and some of us do better with a little bit more freedom. It's okay. I'm not looking for perfection here or like Shakespeare level poetry. I just want us to work on our creative writing brains. We're also going to touch on 2 different types of figurative language, alliteration and simile, both of which you've learned about this year already. So this is a review, but never hurts to practice. Okay, definition of free verse poetry is poetry that is free from the limitations of regular meter or rhythm. So it doesn't have like that bop, 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 like a couplet would or like a villanelle would, and does not rhyme with fixed form. So a couplet, each 2 lines have to rhyme with each other. A villanelle is A, B, A, B. Free verse doesn't have that limitation. You can rhyme if you want to, doesn't have to, okay? Here's an example. So Fog by Carl Sandburg. Carl Sandburg is like one of my favorite poets. I've been to his house. It's in Hendersonville, North Carolina, around there. It's in the mountains, so it kind of makes sense that he wrote this. Fog by Carl Sandburg. The fog comes on its little feet. It sits looking over the harbor and city on silent haunches and then moves on. Notice how the poem does not rhyme. Notice how there's no like specific rhythm to the lines, okay? And there's like punctuation, but it's different in every line. So that is an example, a quick example of a free verse poem. Figurative language, we're going to be talking about alliteration. Alliteration is the same letter sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. So when I say adjacent, I just mean that they're next to each other. So all of those tongue twisters that we learned when we were in elementary school, like Sally sells seashells down by the seashore, that's alliteration. Okay, here's another example. While I nodded, nearly napping. Those 3 words start with the N sound. Authors do this for emphasis and also to emulate sounds over and over again to kind of catch your ear. Also, it's important to note that alliteration does not always mean that 4 or 5 words in a row have to start with the same letter sound. It can be closely connected words. So they don't always have to be right next to each other. But if you see 2 or 3 words in the same line with the same letter beginning, that's an example of alliteration. Okay, simile. A simile is a comparison of 2 unlike things using like or as, okay? For example, she is as cold as ice. Her personality is cold and it's being compared to ice. Obviously, a personality and ice are 2 different things, but they are comparable, okay? Because of that, we see similes all the time. We use them all the time. This is totally a review. Most of you can tell me what this is off the top of your head. Okay. Assignment. Okay, you are going to be reading The Good Times. When you are reading this poem, I want you to go through it. If you need somebody to read it to you, the YouTube link in the Google Slides presentation is a YouTube video of the author of the poem reading it at a poetry reading. So if you want somebody to read it aloud while you're reading along, I recommend going to that link. Okay, so you're going to put a star next to the example of alliteration, and then you're going to underline the example of a simile. I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a minute. And then you're just going to answer the questions at the end. When you're done, click turn it in, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to respond to the Flipgrid prompt. All right, so let's look at your assignment really quickly. Okay, so here is the poem, The Good Life by Tracy K. Smith. It's pretty quick, okay? So let's say you find an example of alliteration. You're gonna put a star next to it. The way you put a star, insert, shape, call outs, and then there's a star right here. Okay, you're gonna click it. I don't know. This is not the answer. I'm just showing you what it looks like. Click it, boom. There's the star. Okay, the way that you underline, we've already done lines before, but I'll show you it again. Okay, you click the line and then you literally just underline it. Boom, done. Okay, and then you are going to go down here, answer the questions at the end. Is this a free verse poem? And how do you know? What is an example of a simile in this poem? And what are the two things being compared? And then what is the speaker's overall attitude towards money? And does he seem like, it's actually a she. Does she seem like she has a lot of it? Why or why not? Okay, click turn it in, and then you're done. Alrighty. Love you so much. Miss you. Stay safe. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.